suffering in bondage. Looking for deliverance, we'll suffer till we find it. Crying to the Lord, tired of grinding till we soar. Sick of dying by the sword, tough for us to be reminded. Father, make a way, we need a way out. For you to gather up the world and bring again how you designed it. To be honest, this is mostly what we pray about. For you to guide us through that water like a slave route. And clean us up, deliver us from death. Lead us out the dark and give us light with each and every step. To revolution, give us life with each and every breath. To restitution of our rights, we ain't got nothing left, please. Bless the movement and rain down fire on the heathen like the seventh plague. Leading us to Zion as they cleave into the blessing. This the message that we crying to the sheep that need a shepherd. Time is almost up. We seeking freedom through the Exodus. So
been here 400 years, can't get an exit. Blood, sweat, and shed tears, can't escape oppression. Heard the most I can't hear till we seek repentance. Look down and please hear, Lord, we need an exodus.
If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it exodus? If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it exodus?
My earnest of prayers is that the Father stick with us, cause we spiritually dead. While we living in this Egypt, we got 400 years in the shadow of death. The Lord sent us a shepherd, and then he gave us his breath. He got us grasping for air back when he back in his ears. Moses warned him of the woes, but he didn't even care. So, and we prayed that we wouldn't falter. Pharaoh hard in his heart, he wasn't signing Magna Cartas. Now he caught up in this plague, we know this water red. Your hand got him in this shape, he only seeing death. You had to put him in this place, so you showing signs, raising up your noble vines, so they know Yahweh is the only God. Isis, Ron, I'm at Hotep, can feel the pit of fire. We praying we the remnant you left, cause next we splitting skies, and this great escape will be the only thing they talk about. Remind us that ascension never rise like the living out. Been here 400 years, can't get an exit. Blood, sweat, and shed tears, can't escape oppression. Heard the most I can't hear till we seek repentance. Look down and please hear, Lord, we need an exodus.
If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it exodus? If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it
Picture the
exodus?
staff in hand as Moses touched the water as it bled. Fishing in the Nile, swimming in red, choking, floating till they dead. Or the frogs filling the land, get it? No place to put your foot on, the noise is crazy, all them damn rivets. Or lights rising from the dust of the earth, jumping on many cattle, scratching to no end. Just imagine the hurt, then the flies swarming, biting like Jet Li kicks. She can't avoid them, take days to heal, no ointment. The livestock depleted, hit their stomach and the feral pleading. Then it's hard-hearting again, just to continue to beating out the balls for the soot of the furnace that's on them. Pus feel bumps filling their body, they skin deforming. What kind of power can put the fire to hell? The Egyptians know, the God of Israel, if thou canst tell how them locusts were sent to decimate every single crop, sit in darkness for 3 days to throw the alone to make you drop. Fear of the unknown, you can't stop killing more men than the beast they saw not. Speaking of dead men, the firstborn son was taken. With 10 plagues on great Egypt, the world was shaking. They let us go, change their mind, boy, were they mistaken? Ransom for our enslavement, the greatest nation. Ransom for our enslavement, the greatest nation.
Been here 400 years, can't get an exit. Blood, sweat, and shed tears, can't escape oppression. Heard the most I can't hear till we seek repentance. Look down and please hear, Lord, we need an exodus.
If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it exodus? If we the chosen while we here, please give us the exodus. Make the nations bear fair, can we get it exodus?
You observing the kingdom, you think you can see when it's coming. It's building, it starts from within you. And the sound with a roar and the thunder, we add into bone with the flesh and the sinew. Blow the breath upon you, purging all the evil. Beckon to the people till they get their leaders. Slaying all the eagles till the fall of Edom. And no, we ain't write it, just call it and read it. You sin on the front, we just say what we seeing. We only out seeking the chosen of Isaac. Isaiah and light, you ain't think that we see us? Putting in work like they just didn't see us? Then give us credit on none of our labors. And they'll be trembling with terrible fear when they witness the strangeness of our salvation.
Gotta put our work in Israel. The kingdom won't come by observation. Gotta get us out of this hell. We
conflict with each other, get weary, cause clearly my flesh trying to kill me. I'm screaming for help, but it seems no one hears me. Frustration, tribulation, lacerating my spirit. Whole armor equipped with much study, I get it. If you come to serve the Lord, prepare for temptation. If not, Satan is waiting to devour. Like a ravenous wolf, hit quick like a red rag to a bull. Since this evil bull has the mind of a fool. When trials come, think it not strange. When you going through things, remember there's an escape. Fleeing from sin like the serpent that slithers, abstain from the sin that's within us. Deliver through scriptures. Thorns that buffet, Christ's grace is sufficient.
Gotta put a work in Israel. The kingdom won't come by observation. Gotta get us out of this hell. We must rise up, our nation. Don't you know that the kingdom's within you? The kingdom's within you. Don't you know that the kingdom's within you? The kingdom's within you. Gotta put a work in of the earth. I praised him. I don't know how you do it, but I'm so grateful for any knowledge you keep knowledge. Your reproof is kindness, and I thank you, my brother. Hey, I thank you, Israelite man. Thank you, my brother. Hey, I thank you, Israelite man. If it seems good unto the kings, let the maidens honor you for ruling so well your people. You are counted worthy for everything you do according to truth. Thank you, my brother. I thank you, Israelite man. Thank you, my brother. Hey, I thank you, Israelite man. You are fine golden wedge of Ophir, flock of God's pasture, shepherd with no fear. You are fine golden wedge of Ophir, flock of God's pasture, shepherd with no fear. You are fine golden. You are. You are. You are fine golden. You are. Thank you, my brother. I thank you, Israelite man. Thank you, my brother. Hey, I thank you, Israelite man. Thank you, my brother. I thank you, Israelite man. Oh.
Shalom, family. Good evening. Most High Christ bless. Peace and blessings to you and your households. We'll start shortly as soon as we get a quick mic check, sound check. We'll start shortly. Shalom, family. Good evening. We're good.
Shalom, everyone stand, face the east. Sisters, cover your heads. Brothers, uncover your heads. Israel, blow trumpets. Oh, Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed into us, Lord. We thank you for the opportunity tonight to learn about your high holy day, learn about the Feast of Dedication. We ask you to bless the speaker as he bring out the scripts to better edify the people, Lord, so we'll understand these traditions, your laws, your statutes, and commandments. I ask you to continue blessing Israel, Lord, as we continue to wander in this world, to deal with all the evil and the hate in this world, Lord. The hate that we might receive from our families, our friends, and strangers in the streets. I want to thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for us, and I ask you to continue blessing us. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen. All praise. All praise. Let me see if I can get in here. Whew. All praises, family. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you brothers and sisters that's online. We're gonna go over Feast of Dedication. It's right around the corner. It's at even on Friday. Okay, the 25th day of the month of Caslu. All right, as counted correctly according to the scriptures. So we're gonna get into it. Got a few questions for you brothers and sisters as well. So this is gonna be kind of a Q&A to see exactly where everybody understanding is in regards to the Feast of Dedication. And it's going, Lord's will, to provide some edification in regards to the history, the tone of the message that was given unto us. You know what I'm saying? Looking at things from the perspectives and understanding the mindset of those that spoke about these acts to bring forth this history today. So we're going to start with a few questions. All right. So online, I already ran the brothers. Me and the brothers, we already went through a gamut of questions. So online, how do we know what season? How do we know what season Feast of Dedication is held in? How do we know which season? I know it's a brief delay, so we'll go ahead and give you brothers and sisters time to go ahead and answer the question. All right. I just want to say shalom to a few. Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody. Which season is the Feast of Dedication observed in? And provide a scripture, please. Let's see what we got. Let's see where everybody at. All right. I don't see anything yet. We got anything? Shalom, Ben Roy. We see you on YouTube, brother. Shalom. Shalom, family. No responses?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Don't all answer at once now. Me and my invisible cup. See that?
Right.
I don't see no response. All right. Hey, well, I'm gonna ask you, brothers. What season is Feast of Dedication observed in, brothers?
It's in John chapter 10, verse 22 and 23.
This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22.
So someone said, well, it's in the Maccabees. Okay. That doesn't necessarily state the season. Okay. What if somebody says it's in the spring? Read what you got. This is the answer. Read what
This
you
is
got.
the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter.
So in Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication was being kept, and the scripture says it was winter. Just like now, what season are we in? We're in winter, okay? Some people are snowed in as we speak, okay? I'm down in Florida, and it's pretty cold. So we know we're in the right spirit, okay? And we're moving according to the scriptures the Most High God allowed us to have in these last days, all right? I'm just going through a lot of the questions that we have first and foremost, and then we're going to dive directly into the history. Okay. The reason Israel celebrates this high holy day for 8 days, because you can't go to Leviticus 23 and read about feast of dedication now, can you? John 10:22, First Maccabees 4:59. Okay, all praises. Just answering a couple questions in the question. All praises. She going, hey, she's went ham. So she answered that question and the questions prior. All praises.
Was she listening? Was she listening in?
All
Or no?
praises.
Yeah, listening.
All right, so let's get the answer. First Maccabees 4:59.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness.
All praises. So we're to keep the feast for 8 days. Okay, it begins the evening of Friday until the evening of Saturday, okay? From the 6th, I believe, to the 13th. Let me look at my calendar. We counted the days out prior to, then we had a council in regards to the dates. So it starts Friday night, sundown, until Saturday night, sundown on the 14th, okay? That will end the Feast of Dedication. That will begin the Feast of Dedication and end it. All right. Nah, don't say sorry. Say all praises. Get that in Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees. She got 1 and 18.
This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now purpose to keep the purification of the temple upon the 25th day of the month Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it as the feast of the tabernacles and of the fire, which was given us when Nehemiah offered sacrifice after that he had builded the temple and the altar.
So we're to keep it. So the common theme here is that we keep it as the Feast of Tabernacles, right? We keep it as well. How do you keep the Feast of Tabernacles? Go to Leviticus 23.
Leviticus chapter 23 and 34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacle for 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days shall ye offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is in solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
So it's treated as a Sabbath, the first and last day, right? Of course, seeing as where it falls, it falls right on the Sabbath day, the beginning of it. So it kind of works out. All right. So, make your preparations, prepare your foods, your feast beforehand. So, you can bring in the feast properly. All right. And she also quoted John 10:22, which is great. That lets us know brothers and sisters are studying. It's a beautiful thing. So no need for apologies. No need for apologies. Those are not needed. Another question that we had was in regards to the menorah, right? In regards to the menorah, especially if you go online to buy one now, they have 9 branches. How many other 9 branch, 13 branch, or something like that, or some crazy numbers. How do we know for sure how many branches the menorah is? What scriptures can we go to? Because there's a few. Just want to see what everybody's mind is prior to us, delving into the scriptures. Exodus 37:17. Excellent, brother Elijah. Excellent. Grab that real quick.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 37 and verse 17. And he made a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work. Made he the candlestick, his shaft, and his branch, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers were of the same. And 6 branches going out of the sides thereof. 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side thereof, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side thereof. 3 bowls after the fashion of almonds in one branch, a knop and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knop and a flower. So throughout the 6 branches going out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick were four bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers.
So it's going through the decorative piece that we know as the menorah. So it's initially the candlestick, then it's 3 branches on one side, 3 branches on the other. Okay. This candlestick is symbolic to the 7 churches. Okay. Providing light, which is the commandments. All right. All those different things. But you won't read within the scriptures that according to the oil being burned, it'll be burned for, particular amount of days and things like that. So we just gotta be careful in those different things that we may have heard. So so in regards to the scriptures, we're to have a 7-branch menorah. Okay, we're all to have a 7-branch menorah in regards to the scriptures. That's from the beginning. That's from Exodus all the way to Revelations. The same thing. We read Revelations 1 and it's 11, right?
11 to 12.
13.
Revelation 1 and 11 says, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. What thou seest, write in a book and send it unto the 7 churches, which are
12.
in Asia.
Read 12. Jump down to 12.
Verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
So he turned and saw 7 golden candlesticks. Come on.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So he clearly seen a 7-branch menorah, okay, a candlestick, and in the midst of it, he's seen the Son of Man. All right. So it's understood from the beginning to the end, all right, that we have a 7-branch menorah. That 9-branch and all these other things, that's made up. That's fallacy. Something outside of what we can actually read. Okay, so just be careful with that. Y'all might go on Amazon trying to get menorahs, and you count too many branches. Okay, count too many branches. All right. From there. So we're gonna delve into the book of Daniel. We're gonna get an understanding from the book of Daniel. Just have a few questions. I like to ask questions because it gets the blood flowing in the brain. It's that mind going before we really get into it. So Daniel, he dreamed about the historic prophecy during which captivity? Which captivity did Daniel dream about the future prophecy of the Greeks? Which captivity? Because Daniel was in the midst of the Persian Mede captivity as well as the Babylonian captivity. Okay. So during which, I'm kind of giving the answers. So during which did he see the prophetic dream? These answers should be coming quick. I told brothers and sisters, read. Let's see who's reading. Who's reading with us? Babylonian. Exactly, brother. Exactly, Eliyahu. So let's prove that. Go to Daniel 8.
Mm-hmm.
Read verse 1.
Yes. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in the vision.
Hold on. It says, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar. So Belshazzar was the son of Nebuchadnezzar, okay, king of Babylon. So you was right. All praises. Yehu, Uri, and Shema, you're all correct. Okay, the Babylonian captivity. All right. And it says, after that which appeared unto me at the first. So this prophecy is referring to another prophecy that the brother had in chapter 7.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 1. In the 1st year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and vision of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters.
So it's saying so about 2 years later, the brother had another dream. Okay. So it's a span of 3 years that he had these prophecies or these visions. All right. Give me Give me chapter 10, verse 1, just to show you that he reigned. Well, he was there during the Babylonian as well as the Persian Media. I made mention of that. So
Daniel chapter 10 and verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called.
Hold on. It says in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia. So during the time of the ruling of King Cyrus, okay, this brother also had visions and dreams and things of that nature. So Daniel was around for the Babylonian and the Persian Media captivities, okay, just for clarity's sake. And he saw the prophecies of the Greek captivity that was to come to pass. All right, he witnessed the prophecies. He saw the prophecies of the Greek captivity. Let's jump back to Daniel chapter 8. Let's go ahead and read down.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 2. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw, that I was a Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted.
Hold on. So if you look historically at, because I got a few books full of maps. I got this old 2nd edition Oxford Bible Atlas. I got a few books. I don't know if y'all will be able to see it, but Shushan is the same as Susa. Okay, Shushan is the same as Susa. All right, by the river Ulai. All right. So if you look up Ulai, you look up Shushan or Susa. Okay, they all are in the same realm. All right, and let me see if I can. So here is Susa. This is the river Ulai by Susa. Okay, and right to the right of it, you have what? Babylon. Okay, you have Babylon. All right, and this is the Seleucid Empire, right there by the Persian Gulf. So Daniel is envisioning himself right there on the shores of that river, Ulai, real close to the Persian Gulf. So what do we call this area today, brothers and sisters? What do we call that area today? What do we call this area today? What is this region known as? Just so we can kind of put ourselves there as well, so we can understand what Daniel is speaking about.
Wouldn't that be the land around Iraq?
Right. The land between Iraq and Iran. Okay. Or what they refer to as the Middle East. We know it's not the Middle East. But that's what they refer to it as. Okay. It's between Iraq and Iran. Okay. So this is where this brother is. He's over there. So just keep that in mind. Read on.
Verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and so, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last.
So this ram that he saw as he stood by the river Ulai, right? He saw a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high. So it was 2 high horns, 2 horns that were, so if the horn was high, it would mean a place of rulership, right? Place of power. But one was higher than the other. Okay. So the question is, which one was higher than the other? Which one was higher than the other? First and foremost, who's the ram, and which one was higher than the other? I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Let's see. We got any responses? No. Yes. No. Y'all brothers can answer too. Well, I know y'all know. I don't know. Nah, y'all ain't tough. Y'all ain't tough. We gonna. I want to see what the brothers and sisters know out there. Persian, the Medes, the Persians were higher. Okay, all praises. All praises. Hey, this to me is beautiful because it's showing that, you know, our brothers and sisters are studying, man. This is a beautiful thing. So it says, behold, there stood before the river, that river is Ulai, okay, a ram, which is Persian Mede, right? It says 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last, okay? So the Persians, according to history, the Persian Empire was larger than the Babylonian and the Assyrian empires. Okay, I think it's extended like to India and Greece. If you're looking at it on a map, their empire extended from India to Greece. Okay, and the capital, it was 2 capitals, Persepo and Susa, as we just read. So Daniel was speaking about standing on the river in Ulai, in the capital of the Persian Medes, which is Susa. As I just I attempted to show you, brothers and sisters, on the on this map. All right, all praises, sis. All right, read on.
Verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
So the Persian Mede, the army was vast. Okay, it was conquering eastward, northward, southward. All right, that none can deliver out of their hands. Come on.
But he did according to his will and became great.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
Hold on. It was something it says something I want to pull out.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. Yep. It says, but he did according to his will and became great. They were so great, they ruled for about 200 years. They were powerful. It was a world empire that lasted 200 years. That's how great they became. Okay, we got to keep that thing in mind, because the Most High God would allow nations to rise up and become great so that they could be destroyed for our purposes. Okay, and that thing rose and stayed in power for about 200 years historically. All right, and you might hear. So if you're studying history, right, you might hear the Medes here, you might hear the Persians here, but majority of the time you hear Persia and Mede together, the Persia and Mede Empire. And Persia is mentioned because it became greater. It was greater. Okay. And when you let me see, let's jump over to Daniel 7 real quick. Mm-hmm. When you read the prophecy in Daniel 7, it kind of gives credit or credence to what we just mentioned. Daniel 7 and verse 5.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. Mm-hmm. And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it.
So it was a bear that raised up his one side. So one side was more powerful than the other, raised up his one side. And it said it had 3 ribs in his mouth. Okay, those 3 ribs were the major strongholds, the major empires that they captured: Egypt, Ethiopia, Sabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sabia. Captured those 3, okay, and became greater. And they reigned, they absorbed them and reigned for 200 years, man. 200 years. So this kind of some of the history, and it's beautiful that you can go and read about this history and understand it is written all within the scriptures. Okay, those things connect the dots, and they go line for line to give you an understanding of what the Bible is talking about. So if there's confusion here, it's assistance given all the way around. Okay, let's jump back to Daniel.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was considering, behold, and he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
So this he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth. He stepped on the scene from the west. This he-goat. Okay. Who are the he-goats? Who is the he-goat here? So we read about a ram, had 2 horns. Okay. Who's the he-goat? Let's see. I'm gonna give it a time limit. If they don't answer, I'm gonna just go ahead. All right, the he-goat. The he-goat was yes and no. It was the Greeks. Okay, it was the Greeks. Yes, yeah. Alexander the Greek. They call him the Great because he conquered, but we call him the Greek. All right, read again.
And as I was considering, behold, and he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
So the he-goat here had a notable horn between his eyes. That notable horn was the Greek Alexander, exactly. Okay, Alexander the Greek, they call him Alexander the Great. He's often referred to as such. Okay, so to prove this, read verse 21 for me.
Verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
So that horn that's between his eyes is the first king, Alexander. Okay, the son of Philip, the Macedonian. All right. Jump back. Where we at? 5?
Verse 6.
We're gonna read through. Hey, we're gonna read through this. It was homework given to y'all brothers and sisters to read through it. We're gonna read through it kind of fast so that we can get to the history and get to the understanding of the temple, the restoration of the temple, and things of that nature. So, go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 6. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river. And
hold on. So this he-goat came to the ram that had 2 horns. So they came at a particular time and battled that ram that had 2 horns. When you look historically, okay, the Grecians fought Darius in 3 separate battles, okay, before destroying them. They fought in multiple battles before they were destroyed. Okay, multiple battles, 336 to 330 BC. During that time span. All right. Read on.
And ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him.
So he came close. So this the notable horn between the eyes of that he-goat ran close to the ram, and it said he was moved with choler. Choler is what? Hatred. Okay. They was moving in the fury of their power and hatred. Okay, they hated one another as far as a nation. Read on.
And smote the ram and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast them down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
So we got to understand this. The ram here is the Persian Mede captivity with the 2 horns. They were larger than the the Babylonians and the Assyrians, but they were still conquered by these Grecians here, okay, by the Greeks. So they had to have a very massive army, okay, to conquer or overtake them. All right, read on.
Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
So it says the he-goat waxed very great. So this he-goat here waxed great. grew immensely, conquered many nations. All right. It said he waxed great, and it said, and when he was strong, so in his strength, okay, he waxed great. And for it came up four notable ones. So and after he passed, four notable generals proceeded from the reign of this he-goat that waxed great. Okay. When he was strong, he conquered all the dark-skinned nations, and they were subdued upon him. When you read, one second, it's First Maccabees. You know what I want? First Maccabees, I think it's like 118.
What is it?
Hold on a second, let me look at it.
One and one.
First Maccabees 101.
Oh no, check it out. Just
Yeah. Read one down to verse. Just read one down.
First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1. And it happened that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chedem, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. And he made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations.
So he went through and took spoils. So they conquered many people, went through and took spoils of the nations of the earth, right? And those spoils were slaves of men. Okay, it was their wealth, things of that nature. Read on.
Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
So they had so much power, and fear was pressed upon so many nations that no one spoke or said anything against them. They would not stand against them in war as well. Okay, come on.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
So he was exalted, and his mind was lifted up. Okay, he got very prideful. He began to be very prideful. Heart was lifted up. Come on.
And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him.
See that? So he went and conquered many nations, and he began to tax them. Okay, they began to pay tribute unto him as their ruler. Come on.
And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
So after he was great, remember we read in Daniel 8 and 8, it says when he was strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jump back. It says, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong. So when he was strong, these are the acts that he did. He conquered many nations. He spread fear throughout the whole earth. Okay. It says, and after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. So after the strength of his power was made known, okay, got prideful, okay. History. If you look in different places, history tries to cover up a few things. Okay, they say, well, in Babylon, it was a history of typhoid and cholera that may have killed him. Typhoid and cholera. Okay, and in some instances, they even say it was a bug that bit him, and he contracted a disease from there. But we know, okay, the history denotes that his sexual lifestyle, his homosexuality that he was partaking in, gave him an STD, and therefore he died based upon it. So just be careful when you're reading about these historical figures. These people have a vested interest in keeping them godlike, okay, keeping their name known and great. They wouldn't really put the truth of the matter into the documentation that we read. So this dude was he was a flame of homosexual, man. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna call it what he was, a flame of homosexual, man. Mm-hmm. Everything. He was a flame of homosexual. He died from a sexually transmitted disease, and that was the end of him. But before he died, remember it says he perceived that he would die. Read verse 6.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
So he parted his kingdom amongst his four notable friends. We know them as Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. Okay, and they all actually Shushan, as I stated earlier, is part of the Seleucid dynasty, the Seleucid Empire. Okay, that's a part of the Seleucid Empire that Daniel actually had the vision of. So that region, which is known today as the Middle East, which we know is not, okay, consisted of Iraq, Iran, and the surrounding vicinity. Remember, it says from India all the way until it was from India to Greece. I think westward of Greece that they ruled. So it was a vast nation. Okay, a real huge populous nation, and he gathered, as he conquered, they gathered people unto them, okay, and made them pay tribute, which, you know, is a common theme for society today. You know, the ruling nations today, they conquered nations, okay, and made them pay tribute to them. All right. So let's deal with some of the. Let me see. One second. Let me look at something. All right, from there, let's read Daniel 8 and 9.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the west. Toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. So it says out of one of them. So out of the one of the four that Alexander split his kingdom to, his empire to, out of one of them came this notable one. Okay, came forth a little horn. So he's not like Alexander, the big horn. He's like this little horn, right? It says, which waxed exceeding great towards the south and towards the east and towards the pleasant land. That pleasant land is Israel. Okay, towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. All right. Who was this little horn? This little horn was Antiochus. Okay, so out of General Seleucus, okay, came forth his son Antiochus III, which was the father of Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth. Antiochus the fourth. So in Greek, what does Antiochus Epiphanes mean? God manifest. Okay, so in Greek it means God manifest. So he was calling himself God manifest on earth, and he tried to put a capital G, but we all know that's not the case. Okay, so he extended his rule to the south, which was what? Which was Egypt, all the way towards the east, which was Elamaeus, Armenia, all the way to the pleasant land, which is our land. He took our land, okay, which is the land of Israel. All right. Read on. And he waxed great, even to the hosts of heaven. And he cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them.
Oh, man. So it says, and he waxed great, even to the host of heaven. It says, and he cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground. Okay. It says, cast the host down and the stars of the ground down. So who was he casting down? What hosts of heaven did he cast down? That's the question. Who is the hosts of heaven that he cast down? No takers? Go to Exodus 12. Exodus 12. Yeah, I'm gonna give it just a little bit of time because we got a lot to get through. Yeah. So Exodus 12. Start at verse 40.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
So who went out from Egypt?
All the hosts of the Lord.
The host of the Lord. Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who is the host? Let's jump back to Daniel. I don't want nobody to forget. Daniel 8, verse 10.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 10. And he waxed great, even to the host of heaven.
So he waxed great even to the host of heaven. Come on.
And he cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground. And
He cast
upon them.
Cast the host. It says he cast the host and the stars upon the ground. Okay, the host with the stars. Remember Joseph's vision where Israel was bowing to him? Okay, we were the stars bowing to him, the 11 stars bowing to him, bidding obeisance to him. All right, we're the stars, we're the hosts of heaven. It's us, exactly. They destroyed us, they stamped us out. Okay, gave us false doctrines and forced us to break the commandments of the Most High God. Now, you don't got to force us to do a damn thing. We'll do it on our own. But then we're being forced to break the commandments of God. Okay, read on.
Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the hosts.
So he magnified himself to the prince, even indeed to the prince of the host. He magnified himself above us, the host of the Lord. He magnified himself above God, the host of heaven, the Most High, by calling himself Antiochus Epiphanes, meaning God on earth. God manifest on earth. He tried to his name alone is to magnify him above us and the one true God. All right, read on.
And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary.
He did what?
And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
So by him, he done away with the daily sacrifice. Okay, he made us abominable, profane. We couldn't atone for our sins. We were in the midst of sin. We couldn't atone for them. Come on.
By him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
Read.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered.
Man, so it says, and an host was given him against the daily sacrifice. So the host that was given him was us. It was us, our wicked behinds. We start partaking in their sacrifices. We put off the work of the temple to do the work of, you know what I'm saying, to play discus and to be naked and go to the gymnasiums and things of that nature. Okay? Read on.
Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saying said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot?
It says, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice? So hold on, let me jump up. It says, then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall the visions concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation? That's the sacrificing the idols upon the altars, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. So how long is the sanctuary going to be defiled? How long shall we sit and watch this thing? Well, where can we read the history of this? Let's jump back to 1 Maccabees 1. 1 Maccabees 1. Let's start at 40.
Start at 40. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased.
First Maccabees 1. Hold on, 1 and 41. Yeah, 141.
Yes. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
So this is Antiochus Epiphanes, right? He exalted himself above God, and then he wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people. Come on.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
See that? All the heathen agree. They say no problem. Right? Read on.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Remember, it said a host was given unto him. This is that host that was given unto him. Many rebellious, despicable Israelites, okay, they consented unto this new religion, this new belief that he was bringing forth, to exalt himself as the power, okay, God manifest on earth. Come on.
And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
So that they may sacrifice to idols, profane the Lord's Sabbath. Come on.
For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
So they may not keep the laws of God. Okay, that they profane the Sabbath and the festival days. Guess what? People are doing this today. They're profaning the Sabbaths and the Lord festival days today. So this right here is still affecting our people. This is still affecting Israel to this day because a lot of our people consent. They consent to that religion. Read.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
They polluted the sanctuary and the holy people. That's why we had to regain the sanctuary and rededicate it. That's the whole reasoning behind this day in particular. This high holy day in particular, because it was profane. We had to take it back and reconsecrate it. Come on.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Read.
To the end they might forget the law and change all of the ordinances.
So that's what Antiochus attempted to do. He wanted to change the law. And he wanted to change all the ordinances. He wanted to change the Bible. He wanted to change what thus says the Lord. And this same spirit of Antiochus is in our brothers and sisters today. I want y'all to understand that, man. This same spirit is back, is here. Come on.
And whosoever will not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
So who didn't keep the commandment of the king? Okay, who attempted to exalt himself as the power, he will put you to death because he had the power to do so. Okay, read.
In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
See that? So he put overseers or officers over the city of Judah and over the places that we dwell amongst, to ensure that we weren't keeping the high holy days. And this was specific to us, okay? Because they understood the laws were given to us. That's why the heathen, they was like, okay, we'll do it. Okay? It was a big thing for us to do this, to turn away from the laws that the powers gave us, okay? Because they knew that those laws were legitimate. All right? Read.
Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor.
So it was places that they sent us for comfort. So we had to flee and go hide in different places for comfort, like the catacombs. Okay, the catacombs in Rome. Guess what? Inside those catacombs, places that you can't even walk into. You can't go into those places. I got a book called The Unknown Catacombs that show images of our people painted on the walls with colored crayons or markers or whatever they had back in the day, clay or whatever, what have you. Okay, men and women of color. And this is the unknown catacombs. The catacombs that they do have knowledge of, you can never go into. You'll spend your whole life never being able to walk into that place. That was one of the places of comfort that we had underground, so that we can worship, keep the high holy days, so that we can bring forth sacrifices, things of that nature. Okay, we had to do it in secret because it was decreed that if you kept those things, you would be put to death. So fearing death, we went to the comfort of the underground. Read on.
Now the 15th day of the month Calu Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
So it says, so in the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 144th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar. The abomination of desolation upon the altar. Go, jump up to verse 36 so we can understand what the abomination of desolation is. It's just saying the same thing. We just kind of went. No, we didn't read over this. Read 36 real quick.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 36. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel.
Come on.
Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it.
So what did they do? They shed innocent blood on either side of the sanctuary and defiled it. This is the abomination of desolation. They defiled our sanctuaries. Okay, they ravished our temples. This is what they did. All right, read on.
Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were.
So we were put to death, and then the sanctuary became a habitation of strangers. People didn't have nothing to do with our land, our temple, began to take it over. Right? Read on.
The city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her. And
so it became strange to those that dwelt amongst that land. Okay? Just much like the land that they call Israel today. It's strange to us. History repeats itself. There's no new thing under the sun. All right? That place is strange. That's why, for the life of me, I don't understand how or why brothers would go there and be like, oh man, the magical Israel. No, it's trodden down on the Gentiles. Brothers, vacation, they wasting their vacation days to go over there. It's unrecognizable. All right? Read it again.
Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her.
Come on.
Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt.
See that? Sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Okay? So these strange inhabitants came and overtook the lands, and of course, they didn't use the temple. It wasn't for them. It became a wilderness. It became desolate. It was destroyed. Just like if you don't live in a house, what happens? It'll become abandoned. Okay, it's not taken care of. It'll be destroyed. Exactly, Shemaiah. It's abominable right now. Okay. So that's the abomination of desolation. Us being slaughtered on both sides of the sanctuary, defiling the sanctuary. Okay. Let's jump back to Daniel. Where's we at? Where's we at? 13?
13. Daniel chapter 8 and verse 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
So from then until now, so a dispensation of time is going to pass, 2,300 days is going to pass. Okay? From the time of the abomination of desolation until the cleansing of the temple. Okay? The Most High always put time limits, so timelines in place. Okay? In regards to redeeming us out of captivities and things of that nature. Okay? So 2,300 days mark the abomination of mark the beginning of the abomination of desolation until the cleansing of the temple. Hence, the moniker Feast of Dedication. Okay, we have to rededicate the temple. We have to rebuild it and rededicate it to the Most High God. Okay, because it was destroyed, as we read. All right, let's jump over. 1 jump over. Jump over to chapter 9.
Mm-hmm.
Start at verse. Actually, jump over to chapter 10. Jump over to chapter 10. 11. I'm sorry, 11. 11. We'll start at 11 and 30.
11, what verse you want?
We'll start at 30.
30?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Daniel chapter 11 and verse 30. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
Did we just read that? Mm-hmm. Did we just not read that, right? Mm-hmm. Now read on, read on.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries.
So such as do wickedly against the covenant of our people, the host that was given unto them, right? It says he should do what? Corrupt by flatteries. Let me see something real fast. Give me a second. First Maccabees. Let me see. 2, I think it's 2 and 17. Watch these flatteries. First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 17.
First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 17. Then answered the king's officers and said to Matthias on this wise: Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
You see how he's trying to big this man up to commit iniquity? Y'all see this? See, it says, brother, you are a wise, thou art a ruler, an honorable and great man in this city. If you follow us, everybody gonna follow you. They went to the chief of our people and try to persuade them through those flatteries. Okay, try to persuade them to cause many to err. That's why the responsibility of us as leaders, it's a heavier responsibility than those that's following. Why? Because leaders can persuade followers to follow and do according to whatever will. We've seen that before. That's what Creflo Dollar and them do right now. That's what some of these Israelites do right now. All right. Read on.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends. And thou.
Whoa. Let's go. Let's roll that back real quick. He just said a lot.
Yeah.
Says, therefore, come thou first, fulfill the king's commandment. Why? Because in that land, that brother was revered as a leader. They knew he was a man of the Most High God. It says, fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. The heathen said, we'll do it, because there's nothing to them to do it. Okay. It says, and the men of Judah also. This is the host that was given unto him. The men of Judah also. Our people consented to this nonsense. All right. It says, and as such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends. That's a heavy title to be a friend of a king. That's a heavy title right there. A lot of people, they'll do what is a song, do anything for clout. They're doing anything for clout right now. Hey, that's me. Let me in. I'm VIP. I'm the king's friend. They use their titles and stuff. This is done today, people. I want y'all to realize this. These things are done. You're giving vain, flattering titles. Remember, in Job, those things mean nothing. Don't give those flattering titles. Sellout, Uncle Tom, Coon, Porch Monkey, Jigaboos. That's who. Hey, the dude that said all black women are pit bulls, bulldogs. Okay, he has a title. He's a basketball star with millions of dollars. So if he said it must mean something, right? He's a millionaire. I'm telling you, these things are going on today. So as we read the history, understand the tone of what's going on then and equate that to now. Okay? Although we don't have a temple to rebuild, a sanctuary to rebuild, we still keep an honor and remembrance of this day. of these days. Okay, we're practicing that thing for when that thing really come, the one that ain't gonna ever disappear. All right, where we at?
Verse 18, the middle. So
All right.
shalt thou and thy house be in on the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Man, you see that? Your children and your children's children, they're gonna be wealthy. That's what we're reading here. That's the flattering titles, the flatteries. Okay, just consent to what the king wants you to do, so that all the people here, just like all the Jews, just like everybody that's in Jerusalem, okay, they're already doing it. Just like the heathen, see everybody doing it. Just consent, brother. We'll make you rich. That's what they're telling them. Okay, that's to compel people to get into the music industry, sports world, all these different things. They do the same thing, man. Is absolutely nothing new on this earth. Absolutely nothing new. All right. Jump back to Daniel 11.
Daniel chapter 11 and verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits.
Read.
And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days.
So those that fear God, and that know their God, they ain't doing that garbage, man. They rather be put to death, put in captive, led captive. All right, many. It says, and they that understand among the people, these shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days. Okay, come on.
Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help.
Now when they fall, it says they're gonna receive. They're gonna be hoping. What does it mean to hoping? Hoping. Hoping. HOLPEN. Let me know when you got it up.
Denotes properly to take hold of one to help him up when he is in danger of falling.
Read that again.
Denotes properly to take hold of one to help him up when he is in danger of falling.
So to take hold of one to help them when they're in danger of falling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, now when they shall fall, it should make sense to us now, right?
Right.
Now when they shall fall, because did we fall?
Mm-hmm.
It says they shall be hoping with a little help. What's the little help? We shall be hoping with a little help. Give me 2nd Maccabees, chapter 2. Read verse 65, 66. This is that little help right here. Watch this.
Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 6.
So many are going to do this. And as you read at the end of that verse, it said many going to cleave to those flatteries. 1st Maccabees chapter 2, read verse 65 and 66 real quick.
2nd Maccabees chapter 2 and verse, what verse you want?
First Maccabees chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Start at verse 64, matter of fact. Start at 64 to 66.
My bad. I'm in the wrong. First
Don't worry
Maccabees
about
chapter
it.
2 and verse 64. My bad, I was in the wrong chapter altogether.
Hey, don't worry. It happened to me. It happened to me all the time. I'd be like, First Maccabees chapter 2, read 64 for me, please.
Yeah. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory.
So show yourself men on behalf of the law, and by it, this is how you're going to obtain glory. This is how you're going to obtain or be hoping and giving that help when you fall. Watch this. Read on.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
Give in to Simon. Come on.
As for Judas Maccabeus, he has been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
Let him do what?
Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
So he's going to help us when we fall, because the Most High put Judas Maccabeus and his sons in place, his brothers in place, to be our help, to fight for us when we fail, right? This is the help that we was hoping with, right?
Right.
Read on.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
So take those that observe the law and avenge the people. All right. So this was the little help that we were given right here, that the Most High showed to be a powerful help, a masterful help. All right. Jump back, Daniel 11.
Daniel 11 and 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries.
Come on.
And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed.
Read.
And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god.
You see that? So he exalted himself. We just read this. He shall exalt himself above every god. That's what his name meant. Antiochus Epiphanes. God manifest on earth. Okay, come on.
And shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done.
Read.
Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all.
So this is what he did. He magnified himself above all. He put out a decree. You cannot keep feast days. You cannot observe the sacrifices to atone for your sins. Okay. He put out his own commandments that we must keep, to offer swine's flesh upon the altars. He sacrificed us on the altars. All right. He brought forth much evil. Remember, the scripture says when these men came into power, evils was multiplied on the earth. Okay. Now, from there, we're gonna go to 1 Maccabees chapter 4. Let's start at verse 1. We're gonna read through pretty clear. This just going through the history. Read through I ain't gonna stop you a lot. I ain't gonna stop you, I promise. Yep. We're gonna read through it, and then we're gonna get some understanding, because we read bits and pieces of this right here that we're about to read. Okay, so read on.
1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 1. Then took Gorgias 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guys. Now when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed, and the valiant men with him, that he might smite the king's army, which was at Emmaus, while as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season came Gorgias by night into the camp of Judas, and when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for, said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men.
Oh, that's heavy. They went to the camp trying to find them. They couldn't find them. They said, man, they running from us. They're afraid of us. Then as soon as daylight came, you seen Judas there with 3,000 men, man. There had to be a scene out of, I mean, that's like a scene out of a movie right there. Come on.
Who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds.
So they ain't have armor and swords. They wouldn't even think about that. They wouldn't even think about that. They were thinking about doing what? What were they thinking about? We just read it. What were they thinking about? What were their minds at? To avenge their doggone people. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even about them. They wanted to avenge their people. They wanted to avenge their God. Read.
And he saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen, and these were expert of war.
So these men, they were expert of war. They had the armament, they had everything. Horses, all that good stuff. Okay. Read.
Then said Judah to the men that were with him, Fear ye not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of their assault. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea when Pharaoh pursued them with an army.
I'm telling you, man, our people would get discouraged. They would get so in their own mind, man, and forget the power that they have, the power that's fighting for them. Okay? Judas had to remind them, listen, remember the history. Remember what happened to our foreparents. How the God of our fathers, how he deal with us. Okay, come on.
Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host before our face this day.
Come on.
That so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them, wherefore they went out of the camp to battle. But they that were with Judah sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and all the heathen being discomfited fled into the plain. Howbeit all the hymons of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them unto Gazara, and unto the plains of Idumea, and Azotus, and Jamnia, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men. This done, Judas returned again with this host from pursuing them, and said to the people, Be not greedy of the spoils, inasmuch as there is a battle before us. And Gorgias and his hosts are here by us in the mountain, but stand ye now against our enemies and overcome them. And after this, ye may boldly take the spoils.
You see that? He said, I don't give a damn. I don't care about sword. I don't care about buckler, shield, whatever. We fighting to avenge our people. And then once they killed 3,000, they said, listen, don't be greedy with the spoils. We got some killing to do. That's what he telling them. Hey, we still got work to do. We got to kill some more, G. Hey, leave that here. We'll get that when we come back. Let's go. Let's finish them off. They're in the mountains right up there. Let's go get them. Come on.
As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight, and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared what was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight.
You see that? Hold on. We gotta vision that thing. Hey, Judas said, man, the hell with those spoils. They start burning the tents. They start destroying it. Billows of smoke just piling up. They seeing it in the mountains. And then they see Judas and his men right there ready to fight. They were scared as hell. They seen men standing up together ready to fight. That puts the nations, that puts them in check. Their spirit is afraid of that thing. That's why they don't want us to stand up together. Come on.
They fled everyone into the land of strangers.
So they just fled anyway. They just fled. Okay, come on.
Then Judah returned to spoil the tents where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea and great riches. After this, they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praised the Lord in heaven.
So this is our Thanksgiving. Their destruction, overcoming these nations, that's the Thanksgiving that we're going to be singing to. To hell with this other turkey eating, all this other garbage. People want to sit down and feel their damn guts. Nah. The examples of our foreparents, they on the battlefield ready to kill something for their people. That's what we singing to. That's the beautiful, marvelous songs that we want to hear. Come on.
Because it is good, because his mercy endureth forever. Thus Israel had a great deliverance that day.
All praises to the Most High God. That's what they were singing, about the deliverance that they had that day. Okay, come on.
Now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what had happened, who, when he heard thereof, was confounded and discouraged, because neither such thing as he would were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded him were come to pass.
Come on.
The next year, therefore, following Lysias gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them. So they came into Idumea and pitched tents at Bethsura, and Judas met them with 10,000 men. And
so they waited a year. Think about how much fear these men had on them. They had to wait a year to gather. It said what? 2 score what? Three score
1,000 choice men of foot.
1,000 choice men of foot, 5,000 horsemen they bought. Okay? To fight 10,000 men that they were sorely afraid of. Because think about it. It took a year for them to come back. It took a doggone year. Watch this. Come on.
And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, Blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel, who didst quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David, and gavest the hold of strangers into the hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his armor bearer. Shut up this army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confounded in their power and horsemen. Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction.
Because think about this. What, 30,000, 60,000 men, plus another 5,000 footmen? Because of score. How many score? Score is 20, right?
Right.
This says 3 scores, so that's 60. 60,000 choice men of foot, 5,000 horsemen. This 65,000 men right here. This is the true army. You hear them coming, you're going to hear all the march and all that good stuff. Against 10,000 men. Okay? Against 10,000 men. Ready for war, though. But have the power, the God of the heaven and earth to fight for them. Okay? What did he do? He sent up prayers. Asked the Lord to remember the covenants that he made with our fathers. We gotta remember that thing, man. When we going through battle, we gotta remember that thing, man. We gotta remember that. Okay? Read.
Verse 32. Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away. Let them quake at their destruction.
It says, let the boldness of their strength to fall away. They're looking at what, 35,000 men? 65,000 men against 10,000? That'll make you bold. Just like today. Look. Police, when they call in backup, they can be calm at first. When they call in backup, they tackling you. They beat you now. They make you bold. The more numbers, that's that gang effect. Okay? It's pride in that thing. That's why the Most High deals with little numbers. He does masterful things with a small, minute number of men and women.
Show his strength.
Go on.
Cast them down with the sword of
right. No, I need you to say what you said. Say that louder.
To show his strength and his might.
Show his strength. Because if he set up 1,000,000 men to fight, they could say, man, 1,000,000 men delivered the children of Israel. If he sent 10,000 men against 65,000 men, that had to be the Most High God. That had to be the Lord. It had to be his power. So everybody has to know that's the power of God, not your power. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 33, cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. So they joined battle, and there were slain of the hosts of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them were they slain.
So
the
5,000 are sitting in front of them dead. Okay, it's 60,000 looking at this now. Read on.
Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and when the manliness of Judah's soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went into Antiochia and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it was, he purposed to come again into Judea.
You see that? So he saw the manliness of Judah and his soldiers, man. They was ready to die for this thing. They was ready to die to avenge their people, or to die valiantly. Our people don't know what that means. Reading this history, man, we got to put this in our spirit, man. This is the spirit we all got to move in. We got to push this truth. We got to do whatever it takes, whether we die, die valiantly, or we overcome in whatever the situation. We can't have no fear in that thing. This right here should incite that zeal in you to, man, we do anything for the Most High God, man. We should do anything for the Lord, understanding this and really putting this to heart, man. This history right here to heart. And seeing how our foreparents moved. They saw their manliness and was afraid, man. Come on.
Verse 36. Then said Judah and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
So they're discomfited now. Let's go and cleanse the sanctuary now. Okay? Now, because if they cleanse the sanctuary, what can the people begin to do now? They can begin to atone for their sins. They can get themselves together. This was to avenge the people. It wasn't even for them, but they had a mission. They had a purpose. They had a mission, and it was bigger than them. It was for their doggone people to be redeemed so the Lord can fight for us. Come on.
Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profane, and the gates burned up and shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest or in one of the mountains, yea, and the priest's chamber pulled down.
Remember, the strangers was dwelling amongst them, and they left the temple uncared for, unmanicured. Remember, we read that earlier. Don't forget that history. Okay? This place was tore down. They profaned our holy place, man. And the thing was to restore that thing, to rebuild it. And we needed to rededicate it to the Most High. Why? So we can get the hell up out of this situation. And Judas and the rest of the men understood that. They had urgency in doing that thing. This is something that we as a people today, we got to learn. Urgency to get the hell up out of here, to fix ourselves so we can get out of here. Come on.
They rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their heads and fell down flat to the ground upon their faces and blew an alarm with the trumpets and cried toward heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
So he designated men. All right, you men, y'all are going to hold it down while this sanctuary is cleansed. We must cleanse the sanctuary. We have to rebuild this thing. Okay, we have to restore it. Come on.
So he chose priests of blameless conversations, such as had pleasure in the law.
So first and foremost, we got to deal with brothers who have pleasure in the law. Some of our people hate the law, man. Some of our brothers and sisters today, they hate the law. We can't get them to do anything. Why? It's not really necessarily that they shiftless or lazy. They hate the law. You got to get men that love they take pleasure in keeping the commandments. Come on.
Who cleanse the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place.
Read.
And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it.
They ain't want nothing that the heathen had up in there. Tear that thing down. Tear it down. We'll create another altar. Okay? The altar was there, sitting there within the sanctuary. Tear it down. The heathen, they sacrifice abomination upon this thing. Tear it down. Get it out of here. Come on.
Wherefore they pulled it down. They pulled it down and laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hallowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings and of incense and the table. And upon the altar.
So it says they made also new holy vessels. So they had to refashion and reshape and remold new vessels, right? And into the temple they brought the candlestick. That's the menorah. They brought the menorah into the temple. How many branch menorah, brothers?
7.
7. Okay. Come on.
And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might.
Hold on. So upon the altar they burnt incense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they burnt candles upon the what is it? They burnt candles.
And the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted.
So they lighted the candles upon the candlestick. So we do the same thing. We burn incense, we light candles upon the candlestick, right? Upon the menorah. Read on.
That they might give light in the temple.
That they might what?
Give light in the temple.
So that they might give light in the temple. All right, come on.
Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils and finish all the works which they had begun to make.
So they began to decorate the temple. They began to decorate the temple. They put lights out. They decorated the temple. They put new vessels out. They removed everything that was abominable, got it the hell out of there. Why? So that they can reconsecrate the holy temple. All right, come on.
Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning.
So they rose up to do what? To get the sanctuary back to where it needed to be. Decorating it, lighting the incense. Okay. 2,300 days later, okay, they reconsecrated the doggone temple. Read.
And offer sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it.
Hold on. It said, look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Why? Because there was a count. Remember, it said 2,300 days. Remember that. They was calculating that thing. Look at the time and the date. Come on.
Even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals.
So what should we be so as far as decorating, putting lights, get some music playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get some music playing. So we gonna if you have any question on how to keep the day of Feast of Dedication, I hope y'all taking notes. Decorate, get your lights, burn your menorahs, put some music on. Come on. Sing some songs, some beautiful songs. Come on.
Verse 54 again. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals.
This is a joyful day, man. Sing praise to that thing. Why? Because our brothers and sisters knew that they can get themselves together now. They can atone for their sins now. Come on.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
So we should be giving praise of sacrifice of gladness, deliverance, and praise. Give all glory and honor to the Most High God, man, for this feast of dedication. All right? That's what we should be doing. It should be a joyful, joyous occasion, man. All right? Feasting, music playing, lights, and just candles burning. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful rehearsals. I want to see some pictures. Let me see how you decorated your house, how your house looking. What your house like? Come on.
They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renew, and hang doors upon them.
So they threw crowns, they put crowns up, they put shields, bucklers, they decorated the outward and the interior, outside and inside. We got some plans. Hey, I couldn't get it this year, man. We got some plans for next year. We're gonna deck that thing out. It's gonna be laid out, crowns out the front of the house. You know what I'm saying? Everything. We're gonna lay that thing out. It's gonna be nice. Come on.
Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judah and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness.
So we keep this day with mirth and gladness, much happiness, much gladness. Okay. It says why? It says the dedication of the altar should be kept in the season. Let me see. Was it the verse up? Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was taken away. That's the point. That the reproach of the heathen was taken away. They were so excited, man. So excited to remove that altar and rebuild the altar and give praises unto the Most High God. They were excited for that fact. That's why they was fighting, man. To get them, to be able to get to the place where they could keep the laws of God, They were fighting for that thing. Now, I want y'all seriously to think about this. They were fighting so hard to restore the sanctuary and to be able to keep the laws. How hard do our people fight today to not keep the commandments of the Most High God? Look how far we've fallen as a people, man. Look how we're moving in reverse. Come on, man. So as you keep this day, I know a couple days ago you heard people saying Happy Thanksgiving. I know the couple days, you know what I'm saying, a couple days later, I hear somebody talking about Happy Christmas, all that other garbage. Hey, we screaming happy Feast of Dedication, Happy Hanukkah. That's what we screaming. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody in the store, you know how they say something and then they be so awkward, you don't say nothing or you correct them. Happy Thanksgiving. You know how many times they told me that nonsense, that garbage going through the store? You know what I'm gonna tell them if I go to the store? Happy Hanukkah. What's going on? What's going on? Now I want them to look crazy. I want them to look crazy in the face. Happy Hanukkah. What you doing for Hanukkah? What you doing for the Feast of Dedication, brother? You know what I'm saying? Hey, them looking crazy. Reverse that thing.
No.
All right. Read on. We're gonna read all the way down to 60.
Verse 60. At that time also they built up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before.
They said we're gonna fortify this thing, man. They ain't tearing this down no more. They ain't tearing this thing down no more. So Lord's will, all praise to my hey, Lord's brother said, Lord's will, I'm going. Hold on. Let me read that. Lord's will, I'm going hard on the 6. All praises. Hey, we all need to go hard on the 6. We need to go hard. You know what I'm saying? Get some music out. Hey, if you make music, if you can only sing but in the shower, I don't give a damn. Let's hear it. We need to let's get some singing going, some songs. Let's get some one. Hey, light your incense. You know what I'm saying? Get your menorahs. Make sure you get your candles. All right? Let's get in the spirit. Let's get in the right spirit to restore our nation. Okay? Let's get in the right spirit, man. And that's what this day is about. That's what this day is about. Okay? Rededicating the temple to the Lord. Rededicating ourselves to the Lord. Fighting tooth and nail to do so. That's what this day is about. Okay? And with that, any questions? Any questions? I pray y'all got something from this class, man. All praise to the Most High God. I pray y'all got something. I know we read a lot, but sometimes that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you should take pleasure in reading the scriptures. That thing should make you feel wonderful, make you just want, because faith cometh by hearing and hearing by the word of God. So you're going to build your faith by hearing and seeing the examples of your foreparents, which should make you stronger in this walk, man. The thing should make you stronger in this walk. Hearing 10,000 men made 65,000 men flee through the power of the Most High God to restore their nation. Come on, man. Come on, man. Beautiful sight. Y'all brothers got anything? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. Y'all got anything? Anything y'all want to add? Anything y'all want to add? Please feel free.
Beautiful history.
Feel free.
Beautiful history. Beautiful history. It's true what you say how our forefathers and fought hard to keep the laws, and now we actually fight really hard not to keep them. Long breakdowns on why not to keep the laws. It's crazy, but yeah.
Bruh, long soliloquies on how to break the commandments of the Most High God. A multitude, a myriad of different words to show how to break the commandments of God, where our foreparents was fighting. They were giving their daggone lives for the ability for the nation of Israel to keep the commandments. It's men right to this day that's the full pages of scriptures to tell you to break the laws. That thing, I'm telling you, man. That thing, I be trembling in my reins want to sacrifice a nigga to an altar. We can't do that. We can't do that. Yeah, just playing.
Great class and great class.
All praise to the Most High God. All praise to the Father. All praises. All praises. The house of the water in Israel already started decorating for feast dedication. Great feast. Our history is excellent. Yes. All praise to the Most High, man. We started decorating too. My rear got that thing looking nice. I ain't even gonna hold you. I walked out the room yesterday and I'm like, man, okay. All right, I see you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you looking, I'm like, man, okay. Hey, I had that on me. Man. She got that thing looking right, man. She really took her time. I'm gonna take some pictures so y'all see what I'm talking about, man. She really took her time to, you know what I'm saying, want to decorate the house. And, you know what I'm saying, next year it's gonna be better. Each year, Lord's will, you know, be better, maybe come together more, you know what I'm saying, on these days and be able to bring them in together, man. But hey, I'm ready. I'm excited. Hey, I start my leave today. I took off. Hey, all praise. He started told me you got some use or lose. I said you ain't gotta say no more. You gotta say no more. You gotta say no more. I take them days. All praises. History, you making me want to revolt now. No, hey Israel, now you can't revolt now, bro. Can't do it right now. All praises. Hey, I take some pictures. Everybody that's in the Heirs of Israel group, man, on Facebook. Everybody post your pictures there. Everybody post your pictures there. Post your pictures there. All right. All praises. Said crowns of gold, shields of silver, man. Hey, whatever. Actually, class, I'm gonna have to find another store for decorating because Kirkland's not acting right. Hey, Kirkland's expensive, man. Hey, listen, Burlington Coat Factory. I'm gonna put y'all on some game right now. Put y'all on some game. Burlington Coat Factory, Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Big Lots. I'm telling you, those stores right there, you can find a lot of good quality pieces in them stores. A lot of good quality pieces. I'm telling you, man. A lot of good quality pieces. I was talking to the brothers the other day too, in regards to really delving into history, knowing who's who, what's what happened when, what date this transpired, the chronological order of the Bible, things of that nature. We definitely gonna have to dig deeper into history, the history of the Bible per se, but history period, so that we can understand different, the ebb and flow of us as a people, what we going through. Remember, nothing's new, so we can kind of see trends in what happened, so we can avoid those things. Okay, but we can't do that unless we know the history of the Bible, right? So we're gonna start delving into the history a little bit more than what we've been doing. And because the beginning phases of us, this whole year, we've almost been together a year. This whole time we've been dealing with issues to build ourselves up. All the classes have been dealing with internal issues to really build yourself up. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Okay, that's what we got to start with. You got to start internally. You got to change within you. You got to change, and then now we can get more understanding on dates, times, occurrences, historical figures, who's who in the Bible, so to speak. Okay. All praise to the highest, but understanding as a class of our history. All praise to my, all praise to Dr. Ben said Ross, Dollar Tree, Big Lots. He said, hey, Dollar Tree got a lot of glass, like the little glass things. Dollar Tree, Ross, glass. I'm telling you, yeah. Hey, get on. We need to get on that. Shalom,
Kirkland, Ben Zion.
Hey, Kirkland's.
When you said, I knew exactly who you were talking.
Hey, Kirkland's expensive, man. They expensive, bro. They expensive, man. And they like it could be a better selection. Home Goods is I think it's better than Kirkland's. Home Goods got some good stuff. Hobby Lobby, all those places, like I'm telling you, all those places like that, great. You can get great decor from them things. Right, help each other grow, iron sharpens iron. All praises. All praises to the Most High. All praises, all praises. Brother said a quick question. What's your question, bro? Brother Habakkuk gonna answer your question real quick. Hey, I used to do that. I used to do that all the time, man. What's your question, Eliyahu? Hey, you're real laughing, Biz Zion.
I hear her.
All praises. Ben Roy, all praises, man. Glad you enjoyed the class, brother. We see you on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube, bro. Got anybody else on YouTube? Brother Enoch. All praises, man. Waiting on your question, bro. I know a lot of people want to give gifts and everything like that. You know, Purim gave gifts on Purim. You know what I mean? It's common to give gifts. If that's what you want to do, there's no law against it. There's no law against it. Okay. But as you seen, we didn't read that exchange occurred, right? We didn't read that it occurred, so I don't want people to start to associate gift giving and stuff like that with dedication. But every high holy day you can give gifts. Okay, there's no law against it. I'm not understanding why the description of the
I don't think the question is finished.
Why it describes the Greek different than. Oh man, I gotta send this email. Why the description of the Grecian, why it describes the Greek different than, because we know the Grecian are Edomites. Y'all understand that?
No, I don't think the question is actually finished. That's what I get. Why the description of the Grecian? Where exactly is it talking about? Daniel 8 and 21.
No, we'll see. I know he can hear you. Ask the question again, bro. Like put it all in one. I'm trying to figure out what. But if somebody else can help, I mean, do y'all understand it? You understand it, Mike? Ms. Zion? What is?
Nah, I can't see the question.
Okay.
Just read it.
Oh, okay. Why the description of the Grecian? Why it describes the Greek different? Because we know the Grecians are Edomites. Oh, okay. Daniel 8 and 21. Oh, okay. Oh, because we know the Grecians are Edomites. Oh. Oh, because we know the Grecians as because we know them as Edomites.
Right.
Okay.
So you understand the question?
Yeah. So why does describe them as Grecians? That's all.
So why I don't describe them as Edomites? Why I describe them as Grecians?
Yeah.
Because that's the moniker that they were called.
Yeah.
Just like the Romans, they're not describing them as Edomites. They're describing them as Romans because that's what they're known as.
Right.
Just like today, they wouldn't describe me as they don't describe me as an Israelite. They describe me as an African American or black.
Right.
That's what they know us as. Was that the question? When it says shit them, that's what they're bold. They're bold and shit them.
Yeah.
I think that's two different. That's two different people. I guess that's the question. I hope we answered it.
He said he got it.
Okay, all praises. If you don't, hit me up. Hit me up later. Hit me up later. Hit me on. If you don't, hit me up. Okay. If you have any questions, like later, because I know sometimes you ask a question, you know, things can be said. If you want more further clarity, hit me up. Hit any one of us up. We'll help you out. All right, family. Well, we're gonna close it out. Lord's will. We'll be doing class again this Friday. This Friday? Who got this Friday? You got it? We good? All praises. Brother Mike gonna be doing part 2 of his class. The class last the week before last, right? Part 2 of the class from a week before last. All right. So looking forward to it. Got some good stuff coming. We've got some good understanding coming forth. All praise to the Most High God, man. All right, brothers and sisters, we're gonna say shalom, peace and blessings, family. Lord's will, we'll see you all Friday.
Long family.
Still family. Peace and blessings.
First fire, last hired, single mothers.